Hey birdies, Vet Nele here. You know me, I help cat owners avoid and treat medical or behavioral problems so you don't get lost and lose your shizzle on Dr. Google. If anybody's here, be sure to say hi to me and let me know where you're coming from. So, as per usual, I like to kick off these Q&A sessions with some cases I've seen the past week. Let's jump into that, shall we? So, the first one I'm going to talk about is Dobby. And Dobby is a Bambino cat. I don't know if anyone knows what that means. I have Django with me, by the way. This is my little Django. Hi, sweetie. Yeah, he's a very purry cat and cuddly cat. Yes. Yeah, there we go. So a Bambino cat is like a sphinx, and a sphinx is an hairless cat. And what is different about a Bambino sphinx, you might say, that they have shorter legs. So another breed that has shorter legs is the Munchkin, and that is a long hair cat. So they had to do different things to breed this kind of cat, and we call this a designer breed. Now, just so you know, designer breeds are never good. I'm gonna put you a little bit closer to me. Yeah, just a little. And failing epically. There you go. So designer breeds are never good, neither in cats, neither in dogs. It's been happening more in dogs now. Before it happened in cats, but it's happening in cats already as well. And now, if these kind of breeders enter the realm of kitten farm, or like in the puppy farm, that just breed to collect the money and don't care about the well-being of the animals, then we are getting big problems, as in birth defects, congenital hereditary diseases, and all of the above. Now, Sphinx cats are already a little bit sensitive. The Bambino is very concerning because the shorter legs will more quickly give arthritis and arthrosis in cats. Now, cats will not easily, easily show that they have any pain. So, from the moment you see your cat limping, that is a sign your cat is in pain. And this always baffles me tremendously. Like, people say, yeah, my cat is limping, but I don't think he's really in pain. And I always have to keep my laughter back, because if you know anything about cat behavior, you know that's about the only sign that they're gonna give, and there will be a long time that they're already experiencing pain and they're hiding the limping. So I if I see anything like that, I usually feel pretty bad, because I know the cat has been feeling off for a longer time than it has shown us. Because if you have not heard me say this before, a cat will hide that there's anything wrong with them for as long as possible, because they still have the same DNA as their wild ancestors. Meaning, yes, they are a predator, but they're also prey. They can be caught in the wild by like a big bird of prey. They might get picked up by that, or like a bigger animal, like the other meat eating animal in the wild. So, you can talk about hyenas or something, but that's not really relevant in most countries. So, not really good example. But this is the behavior that they're showing, like, there's nothing wrong with me, I am not easy prey, you cannot catch me easily. That's how they operate. And the same is still working for us, even though we're trying to help them. We are big predators to cats. Just imagine, like, they're still programmed the same way as their ancestors. So if you would go like in the wild savannah and like a big animal comes straight at you, looking straight at you in the eye, I think you would run. And that's exactly what cats are thinking. Like, I would run and I will not show any problems. I will just get out. So that is what the cat is thinking. Now, this earlier arthritis also happens in the Scottish Fold. Be sure to watch an earlier Q&A on that one. And some of these breeds are actually no longer allowed to be bred. So it's for the well-being of the cats. So please don't try to get these breeds because they're cute. I know they look cute, but it's actually it's mistreating of animals, to say the least, to mask it a little bit, because it's really not good. And you're mistreating animals gravely by supporting that they can be bought, and the breeders will keep breeding them because they know that they can be bought, and that they will earn money on them, and that it's not easy to get them because hopefully, usually there are good breeders around. So something about arthrosis and arthritis, if you don't know the difference between these two, they're actually kind of a vicious circle. So one or the other can start the process. Like most cases, what I'm talking about would start with arthrosis, and there will be more bony structures coming along the cartilage, and this will cause more friction, and friction will cause an inflammation, being the arthritis. Arthritis again will start to get, how do you say this in English? We will get more, irritation, and with irritation comes more arthrosis. So what we actually try to do when we treat this is, when they are limping, they're probably in arthritis phase, so we give anti-inflammatory drugs. These drugs also work as painkillers. We try not to give these permanently because it is a drug. If we know it's from arthrosis, this inflammation, and we can see this with x-rays, though it's not always needed the very first time around, we usually start with the supplements for the joints. And that's something that the cat needs to be on his entire life, so that you might not have to give anti-inflammatory drugs, or not very soon again and again and again, because it does clear through the kidneys. We have seen more studies that it is quite all right. Sometimes you have to weigh the pros and cons, pain or kidneys. So when the cat is in kidney failure, I would not easily give these anti-inflammatory drugs. Now, these are NSAIDs, so non-steroid anti-inflammatory drugs. Steroids in small animals we try to avoid as much as possible. Now, there are a few inflictions, as you might call them, that you can only treat with steroids. They're often neurologically typed, so neurological disorders. But otherwise, we try to avoid them as the plague, as we say here in Belgium, as well as the pest. The pest, I think you also say the pest in English, I don't know. So what was Dobby actually coming for? So Dobby had nothing wrong with him yet. He's just 3.5 years old, and 2 years ago he came for the first time. He had his vaccines. If you've missed any of my episode about vaccines, so for indoor cats, Dobby is an indoor cat. You also need to give vaccines because there are a few diseases that go from cat to cat that are airborne. So they spread through aerosols in the air. Aerosols in the air. Tell me how to pronounce that one. And you can actually carry it yourself on your clothes, on your skin from outside. If you've touched cats or you've been in a neighborhood without knowing it even, that cats that have either herpes or calici virus. Those two are vaccinated in a cocktail, and also panleukopenia. And this is a stomach intestinal virus. This is a little bit the equivalent of parvo disease for dogs. So that is what we need to do. And also deworming for a cat indoor once every 6 months, except if they have like a small baby in the house until 5 years old, comes in contact with very old people, people that have immunity problems, and someone who's trying to get pregnant or is pregnant. So it came again for yearly checkup. So nothing special yet, but we are keeping in mind that he might get arthrosis more quickly than the average cat. And most breeds also don't live as long as an average cat. So that's also something we're gonna keep in mind. I think for the Sphinx cat, I had to have to verify. So don't expect your vet to always know everything off the cuff. Expect your vet to know what is true, and expect your vet to not be afraid to look things up. Then you'll have a better vet. Then we had another case. This cat was called Sophie, 11 years old. So right off the cuff, this cat has the first time we were seeing this cat, and right off the cuff, I could tell that this cat did not get yearly checkups. And for a cat older than 7, we recommend that you come every 6 months. Again, because they hide for as long as possible that something's wrong with them, and from 7-year-olds they can get senior problems. So here Sophie is a female sterilized cat. Again, sterilization is a mandatory by law in Belgium, or in Flanders here anyways. And I had to go on a house call for this cat. Now, this is a bit double. If the owner really, really can't come to the practice because of mobility reasons, usually it's with older people that we have to do this. Um, we try to always advocate that the cat comes to the practice, because you will be invading the cat's space, the safe space of the cat. And if something goes really wrong during this time that we go there, the cat might get a traumatic event and will not feel safe in its own space anymore. That's one. So otherwise, you come to the practice in your back home and it's fine. For this case, I was really frustrated with this case, especially because I'm gonna divert again. See how my brain works? It's all over the place. So I have to divert first because this was the second home visit that day. The first one was just for vaccinations of a dog, but in that home, which was not the biggest home, you had a big Swiss Shepherd dog. So it's like a white Shepherd dog puppy, 2 Chihuahuas, and 1 cat. This was not a big space, and they were smoking inside. I told them that was not good for the cat. And they say, oh, it doesn't matter, the cat is old anyways. I thought I was gonna scream. Is the cat not important anymore because it's old? Is the cat less important than the dogs? Well, in my book, that is definitely not the case. So yeah, I was pretty angry already. Plus, I don't smoke whatsoever. I smelled of smoke the whole day. It was disgusting. So I don't get how you can ask a vet to come to your home smoke right before, and I've even experienced during the time that I was there, and expect that to be okay. It was disgusting. And I had to also had a little cough for a few hours. You see, I have a very healthy reaction to smoke. Now, in this case with Sophie, she was 11, and there was also her mother was also there, so she had to be older even than that. But we were coming there for Sophie because she had, let me see again, problems with the fur. It was a dull and thinner, is what they said. They no longer had the passports of this cat. Now, I was not expecting much. Uh, but I already said, like, she's 11 years old. From 7 years old, she can get senior problems. So the most common kidney failure, hyperthyroidism, or thyroid gland that's working too fast, which can give big problems. Can also cause the kidney failure, by the way. So you can have two problems in one. And yeah, arthrosis obviously is a possibility. I have a whole video about these senior problems, by the way, just so you can check that out next if you have a cat that's 7 or older. Eye-opening. And the third one is diabetes. Doesn't happen that much, but it can happen. So we did ask for a senior blood sample. Now this was with a person, an older man. He didn't seem very interested. So I was like, why are we even here? But there was also a woman there. I think she helped him a bit. But we came there, me and my assistant. There were two cats and two Pomeranian dogs in a very small studio. Very small. I don't think it's bigger than my consultation room. No, I don't think so. In a consultation room, yeah, you can expect it doesn't have to be too big. It's not small, my consultation room, but it's a desk and some chairs, and then a closet and a sink, and the consultation examination table. That's it. So it's not big at all. So I was already concerned for the well-being of all of these animals, but then I heard from my assistant that the dogs were from the woman that's helping him. So she was going to take them with her after. So not only am I invading the home to examine this cat, while we're at it, we're adding two dogs, two predators for this cat to add some more stress to the situation. Yeah, I love my job most of the time. This is very frustrating. It's like I could not have predicted that this would happen, because otherwise I would have said, leave the darn dogs at home. Will you please not add more stress to the situation? A cat is not used to being grabbed by a stranger. Most cats don't like being picked up at all, except for this little fella who's very cozy. Very cozy. He's happy that I can lay here. Usually I'm busy on my computer, so he's happy right now. So yeah, I was not happy. And it showed for Sophie the cat, because she was hiding. Her mother was just laying on top of the, what is that, on the kitchen cabin, something higher. She was just laying there chill. She was watching what we were doing. Sophie was hiding. She ran on the top of a high closet, then in the kitchen, then in, I guess, a bathroom, because it was not my space. I didn't want to go in there if I wasn't allowed to. And on top of that, the owner was trying to catch her, and the woman that was helping also, but the only thing that they were doing was run around frantically. And she was yelling to him, like, you're not doing anything. I said, okay, yelling is not helping the situation. and they go woo-sa. So poor cats. These people don't know anything about helping this cat feel good in his home. I don't think I saw anything, especially for cats in this home. So optimizing your home will reduce the stress for your cat tremendously. Keep your eyes peeled because I will do a webinar soon, like in a few weeks. Be sure you get yourself registered. I just have to set up everything, but the webinar is ready to go. Um, but yeah, for now, what I can give you is what the way a cat reacts to this situation is highly dependent upon its personality. So, and you can do specific things for each specific type. So if you want to know what your cat's personality is, I've created a free quiz and I've linked it in the description of this video, but you should go to vetnele.com/quiz to fill in this quiz. And in the results, you will get 3 very easy, actionable steps that you can do right away. Excuse me. You can do them right away, and it will help your cat out tremendously already. So be sure to take this quiz if you haven't already. And the nice part of it is you will be in my email list and you will be sure that you will get an email invite for the webinar registration. So I'm so excited for this webinar. It's going to be so much fun. I'm going to do three different on 3 different days, so most of you will be able to attend, which is important. So anyway, back to Sophie. Love my brain. So scrambled all over the place. Usually I can get it better than this. That's why I make videos and edit them, and life is less frequent, especially when I'm a little bit tired. So for Sophie, they were even saying things like, watch out for your eyes. It's like, she gonna attack me in my eyes? Like, I didn't see any evidence of this cat wanting to actually attack me. She was running away. She was showing avoidance behavior, and she would hurt herself just to avoid us. So what I did was take a blanket and we sprayed this with Feliway. So this is a pheromone that helps to create less stress by having a sense of familiarity. So the cat is familiar with this scent and feels like, oh, this thing is mine, or this person is mine. I know this person. It's okay. It's fine. So we use this in the practice a lot, also with vaporizers. So I will link to this product in the description below as well. These are affiliate links, and you will help out my channel a lot if you use these links if you want to buy this product. It helps either way, if your cat has problems or not. My cats don't have problems because I try to do everything I can, but still I have a Feliway plugged in every day. So that is important to know. But I will put the links later in the description. Give me some time after this video. It always takes some time to process. So we caught her with the blanket. And once we got her on a table, she was fine. She was not growling or hissing. There was no aggression there. She was just scared as hell. So I could easily examine her, and I did find something much worse than they described at the telephone. So she had a whole band of hair that was less here. She had a whole back that was, yeah, nearly hairless. We call this alopecia. And the tail was much thinner and, yeah, didn't look good at all. So when I looked on the skin, there were red dots in an almost line formation. And this indicates that she has fleas. But she doesn't only have fleas, she has a flea allergy. This means she is allergic to the saliva of the flea. So just a little bite of the flea already gives this reaction, and just one flea is enough. So she will have eaten this flea long by now because she want to get rid of the itchiness. And inside of fleas are often worm larvae as well. So she would possibly have worms as well. So not only does she have flea allergy, and there are definitely fleas in the house, these cats were allowed to go outside somehow. I don't know how they managed this safely, but okay, doesn't really matter. Um, but the other cat needs to be treated too, because if you treat one cat, the fleas will just go to the other cat, and the dogs as well. Now, it's very possible that the dogs brought in the fleas, and it doesn't really matter. Now, they already had a product laying on the table, and this is a typical brand that we see from the pharmacy. It has little to no effect preventively. And if your cat or dog already has fleas, it doesn't work at all to curatively. It does not fix the problem. This is often something they call about like already treated with a flea product and it's not going away. First of all, it's because it's not a good product. Do not ever buy from a normal shop. The normal supermarket never can be dangerous for a cat. We've had some cats die because it was not very well marked that it was for dogs only. A lot of products for dogs are lethal to cats. Second of all, the pharmacy. mm, Very often you have to buy it again anyways at your vets, and it's a little bit more expensive, and you already paid for kind of expensive spot-ons usually. Um, as we already talked about this in the last video as well. So you have spot-ons, and we also have tablets that are on prescription. Usually it's better to take something on prescription. The tablets are Credelio. I couldn't remember the name last time, so I looked it up again. Well, I looked it up. I just looked in my practice and looked at the box, and darn it, it is Credelio. So stupid, I felt that I couldn't find a name. So, anyways, what I didn't know beforehand because it was a house call that this was going to be allergic flea infestation, so I could not give anything against the itchiness. But we did have flea products with us. Thank you, my smart assistant Sarah. So we give the cats, and we didn't know about dogs. Didn't tell that to us that they were in contact with these cats on the phone. So we treated the two cats right away with a product that works 3 months right away. It takes 3 months to get fleas out of your house. So, and we heard afterwards that the itchiness went away after a day. So this cat is on the healing path. Very happy. So yeah, there are a lot of lessons to be learned here. So don't change the environment of your cat. It is very stressful. If you have to change it, please optimize your home first. Use the Feli way, please, the pheromones. Very important. You don't know how good they are. They are fabulous. We have them in the practice all the time as well. And people are always frantic about how more chill the cats are in my practice than where they went before, especially if there were other animals in the waiting room. We do not have other animals in the waiting room. The people exit through another door at the back end of the practice, so you do not pass each other in the waiting room. And we don't have a pack of people waiting in advance, just one person. We make sure it is already inside before the next one arrives. So that is a big plus for cat friendliness. You have to get a lot of things right to get the cat friendly label, and we're so happy with our silver label. So this is where I'm gonna round up my Q&A for today. Too bad no one was here live today, but I'm sure you can get a lot of information from the replay that you will see now on the YouTube channel. Do not forget to take the quiz, vetnele.com // I cannot speak anymore, /quiz. So that is VETNELE.com /quiz. And I will see you later. Bye, birdies.